everybody. Welcome back to Mortgage Ballers. This is Rich Hanlin. Today I got the Mr. Adrian Watson, brand new with Xpert, but not brand new to lending, but still going 100 miles an hour. But we get a little bit of his time today. And Adrian, welcome to Mortgage Ballers.
Thank you, Rich. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Well, I see you got a lot going on. We talked about it. And welcome to the world of imperfections. We're all going 100 miles an hour, but I'll tell you what. It ain't because you're lazy, it's because you got a lot going on, and that's the kind of people that work at Xpert Home Lending are self-made people that get up every morning and they have a will, a way, and a methodology in place, and you fit that bracket, and I appreciate you being at Xpert. And quite honestly, this is a good interview because you're brand new with Xpert, and this is the first time you and I have had a chance to speak. Maybe we start off there, like, where were you before Xpert?
So the previous year, let me start at the beginning. So in 2020, during the pandemic, it was kind of the golden era for a lot of mortgage loan officers. And I say that because nobody kind of knew what was going on. The world just kind of stopped all of a sudden. It dropped all of a sudden. So a lot of lenders kind of got influx with a whole bunch of different phone calls, right? And they didn't know what to do. So they were kind of just looking around just to be able to find good reps, either sales reps or what have you, or whatever it's a rep. And so luckily enough was able to start off with Loan Depot. Since I had plenty of free time at the time, that test was something else to behold, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it was perfect kind of in the situation because I had plenty of time to be able to kind of just sit back, stay in a room, in a padded room, and just kind of figure it all out as far as figuring a lot of these lender requirements. So I started there. Started out, it was extremely tough. I'm not going to lie, just because it felt like everybody was calling me, everybody needed answers, and everybody wanted a loan. We had loans as low as 1.99 in certain places, certain 8-paper type of loans. So it was a great learning experience, to be honest with you, just because there was so much coming at me, you had to learn it. Like there was just no way around it. And I had a great team that kind of helped me along the way as well. So I stayed there for roughly about 2.5 years. I ended that in October of 2022. Took a year off for some other options that I was looking at as far as in real estate as well. And then some of those other options kind of tied in with with mortgage brokering.
Mortgage brokering, okay.
Yeah, I was more so doing wholesaling as far as for houses. So I found out a lot of people were looking for DSCR loans, investor type loans. So I just married the two. And so I started back in February of 24. And then from there, I stayed at Nifty for about another year. And then that was actually ended this month. And then I started up with here. Main reason why I came to Xpert is because it was more of a larger footprint. I love the people that I work with at Nifty and at Loan Depot as well, but the footprint was more important for me, and I had a lot of states at the time, but there's some specific states that I want to target, but they didn't have that option. So got into the broker channel now. I love it, to be honest with you, just because I can meet people face to face. I can kind of get to know them. They can get to know me. It's not just kind of like a wham, bam, slanky, bam, as far as in consumer direct space, right? Where they're calling you, they want options, and you really just have to kind of sell them over the phone. This way I can kind of get to know them, understand what their process is, what they're really trying to do, and we can really kind of understand each other.
Are you in Arizona?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona as we speak right now, yes.
I was pulling it up. It didn't have it on there, but I heard you say Nifty, and I'm like going, wait a minute, he's got to be Arizona.
Yeah.
All right, so in a couple months here, you'll be cooking is what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely. This month, I'm looking for.
It's already started. Are you born and raised in Arizona?
No, I was born in Colorado. I was born in Denver. I'm a military brat. So my father was in the Air Force, so we traveled pretty much every 3 to 5 years normally.
Yeah, I know.
And my story is, it's fun, but when you're a kid and you love every single place that you go, it's hard because you're like, why? What's crazy is every time we moved, it just got better and better and better. And so it changed my perspective on life. You just don't know what's out there. Just go see, explore yourself. You don't know who you are until you step outside of your box. And that's kind of one of the key things that I kind of live by. But I was born in Denver. We moved to England when I was a baby for about 3 years. Moved back to Colorado Springs. My mother's from Colorado. And then we moved to California after 5 years. And then we moved from California to Brussels, Belgium. My dad was actually working for NATO for a little while. So I graduated. We stayed there for about 6 years. I graduated high school in Brussels, which was a different type of world for me at the time, especially being at the age that I left California to go to Brussels. And then I came, very different. But I came to Phoenix from there in, yeah, 97 roughly. And then from
Okay.
there, I went to a junior college, played a little sports, got a scholarship, and then went up to Las Vegas. And then from after Vegas, I played a little bit of arena football, and then I
Okay.
came back after that in '03, and I've been here ever since. So it's been a long trek, but this is the longest that I've been any place was Arizona. Just yeah, it's too easy. I like it out here.
You've been a few places.
But
Graduating in a foreign country is different.
very
My son was in the Air Force up till 2022 when he came on with us here out of Colorado Springs by way of Warner Robins here in Georgia. That's kind of how we ended up in Georgia. Coming out and visit him and seeing the difference between Georgia and California, like prices and things like that,
yeah.
taxes, just that's it's interesting because the experience that you just talked about, so many people I know grew up in one place, San Bernardino, California, where I was born and raised, and they have never left. And I don't mean that mean, I'm just saying it is a big world out there, and the world is not the same in every single place. Don't assume because it's one way here that it's one, especially when you step outside the United States and you're like, it really gets different. Just crazy. But that's an incredible conversation for your borrowers to have with you. I love it. You can relate to so many people with that lifestyle, knowing that just go after the Air Force brats.
Man,
There's a lot of you out there.
that's
You have so much in common. And by the way, we actually, I think about 25% of our business is VA, which is awesome. If I could go 100% VA, I would. I just love serving those who've served us. I've been on the other side where some of my son's friends, when they graduated, they became pilots, and or right after just a couple years, they were off and they were overseas. You realize how young some of these people are that are in these expensive planes, and some of them don't come home. A lot of people get hurt just preparing to go overseas and or possibly lose their life because they practice here exactly what they're going to do there. I didn't know that world, and that world scared the hell out of me, knowing that my son wanted to be part of it, but he got hit in the face with a baseball because he played baseball at the academy. It started degenerative eyesight in one of his eyes. And so he eventually becomes undeployable. And so he ended up getting out of the Air Force. And now he's with us, but he brought, a lot of guys are getting out of the Air Force after X amount of time. And we have this program with the Air Force that allows, actually not just Air Force, but armed forces, where they last 6 months, they can start transitioning into the civilian world, and we teach them how to do loans and or real estate, and the Air Force still pays them those last 6 months, but they try and give them a head start depending on what they want to do, where they want to do it. So I'm learning all that. They all talk in acronyms, and I don't understand it. I'm just like, okay, I stay out of it, but I'm here when they need me.
right.
All right, let's get to know you more. I want to get to know you way more than that, but you don't get off that easy. All right. You answered the question. You've been on the loan. It was Loan Depot.
Yes.
Did you say
Yes.
okay? Loan Depot. You did Nifty. Now you're on with us on the broker side. Talk to me about hobbies. I want to know what you do when you're not doing loans and you gotta step out and have some sanity. What does Adrian do?
So I love to travel. It's my second nature. I love traveling all over the country if I can. That's the one thing. I've been in Arizona for so long. I felt like I've pretty much seen everything. I just love to step out and kind of meet people and get to know people. That's my first love. Besides that,
Okay.
I'm really kind of a sporting guy. Obviously, with the football background, I like to kind of go out and see sports. Obviously, I like to, go have a drink or two, especially in a city like this where it's sunshine at least 10 months out of the year. So it makes it easy. But I like
I'll
the
be there in
outdoors
April,
too.
and me and you
Yeah.
can go have a cold drink in the heat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's almost time now. I mean, spring training's starting and people are walking to the San Francisco game. So it's almost perfect timing now. Even the nights aren't cold now, which is
Nice.
crazy.
I
But
like it.
yeah, we're kind of spoiled out this way. So that's why I usually don't like to tell people too much because they usually get mad at me or jealous. But it's nice out this way. But more so just really kind of getting out. I like to go to concerts from time to time. I don't go as much as I used to, but I definitely like going to sporting events, concerts, being able to kind of go see people. And I don't party as much as I used to. Obviously, not being in Vegas like I used to, but I try to
Me
get out as
either.
much as I can. Yeah.
I act like I'm partying when I make it to 10 p.m. at night.
I
It's
get you.
the other night I had a grandson being born, and he decided to come in the world like almost at midnight. And then we didn't get to see him till almost 2 a.m. But I was like, I ain't leaving this hospital till I see this dang
That's good for
kid.
you.
And God's good. Let me tell you, I love being a grandfather. But I got home at 2:30, and I looked at my wife. I said, "Man, I can't remember last time I've been up 2:30. Like I haven't been drinking or nothing. I feel hungover. Like we just looked
Right.
at each other. We just went to bed." It was in that moment I felt old at 57. And I thought, you know what? It's all right. It's all right. I guess I'll learn to take some naps during the day, and then I can stay up later at night. Who knows? We are
I
getting
feel
out
like
your way, though. Yeah,
no,
we're coming out
yeah,
your way next month, April. I just wanted to let you know that.
yeah, absolutely. Let me know. Yeah, it's beautiful out here. I felt like that last weekend. I was up a little bit late and I was dead tired. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And I'm only 45, so it's
You're
crazy.
young, man.
Yeah, that's
You're
why
like
I'm
a
like,
teenager,
I
man.
know, but I should. That's why I was kind of like shocked because I'm like, man, I should not be this tired at this age. Not yet, at least. I want to be able to enjoy the last bit of my 40s, but it happens. Maybe it was just one
It
of them
does.
days.
Well, tell me this. Do you do all loans, or do you have any specialties that you find yourself doing more of just because people track you down? Like people track me down to do investment loans. I didn't set out to do that. I can do all loans, but I somehow over the years I've gotten more and more in with investors, and especially with DSCR, and we can move properties. Being in Georgia, I have access to a lot of states here where my California people, like I can show them homes here where they could buy two, where they could only buy one in California. And that wasn't by design, it just kind of morphed into that. Where do you find yourself? Are you doing a little bit of everything, or what does your day look like?
Yeah, so I typically do more refinances than most. I think
Okay.
that's my bread and butter. All different types of refinances. VAs, I love working with the veterans, to be
Love
honest with
VAs.
you, just because there's no fluff with them. They tell you everything. It's pretty straightforward. They don't try to lie to you. It's yes sir, no sir. It's easy, and a lot of the VA ROs are just criminal how easy it is, to be honest with you. Purchase I do as well. I haven't really delved into the DSCR as much as I thought I was going to, but I have a funny feeling this next era, just because you can do a DSCR in different states now and don't have to be licensed in the state. I think it's going to be huge for me, just because of some of
Absolutely.
the people that I deal with on the wholesale side, they're all investors, and that's specifically what they're looking for. But I would say more so on the refinance side. I'm very strong on it. I understand how to kind of get to the heart of the matter with borrowers. Sometimes they don't know what they really want. Sometimes they just say that they want a low rate, but that's not really the purpose or really why they're calling. Sometimes they just want a lower payment, from FHA to conventional. It can be tricky with mortgage insurance premiums. So I would say more refinance, if anything.
I used to do all refinances from 1991 up through 2008. But the refinance market got crushed, and I hadn't become good at purchases, so I had to reinvent myself. I'm a purchase first platform now, because there's always purchases. Somebody's hardship becomes somebody else's blessing. But as much as I want to put people on houses, I love it. Like Amanda Rawls, one of our loan originators, she saved somebody $2,000 a month in California, paying off debt, consolidating some stuff. This is a person that had a low rate first, and they thought, I'm never touching that. But by the time they were done, they saved $2,000. I mean, people, when they start to look at the refinance, I don't like it when they take everything and put it in their own buckets. Well, this is my house and here's my cars. It's like, no. How much do you pay out total? And if we can reduce that by $500, $600, $700, $1,000, what could you do with that thousand? Well, you could pay it down. Since you're paying anyways, why don't we snowball it back on the mortgage, and you'll immediately get savings there. But you have choices. So many people right now are paycheck to paycheck, and they're holding on to that low rate. But I'm like, hey, take a look across the board, all that you have, because it's really a blended rate, and it don't matter. I'm zero. I got zero interest rate on my car. Yeah, but that payment's $800 a month. If I spread it out, it's only $250, and we could attack the mortgage. And we could accomplish the same thing by paying less interest over life. And I have to remind people, you may have a 7% interest rate, but they only get 7% if they get all 360 payments. Any months that you cut off there cheats them out of interest and will reduce the amount of interest total that you paid, which is equivalent to a specific rate. And I've shown people, really, if you paid it off in 20 years on that 30-year loan, you only paid 5.625 because they didn't get all the money out of you. We could teach you how to screw that up on the front by making a couple extra. Hey, we can also get you in the right loan, and then we can start doing the recast on those conventional loans, stuff like that, for cheap to get them, people walk into a little bit of money and we could attack it a different way. But, that's all good stuff. All right, I got more questions for you. Do you do it alone, or did you answer this? Are you a lone wolf, or did you come over as part of a team over here?
So I'm a lone wolf.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I kind of like it that way. I enjoy just being able to kind of figure it out. I mean, I ask questions. There's some people that I depend on, obviously, because, you could be in this industry for 15 years and not know everything. That's the beauty of it. And that's why I think I really kind of love it. But I'm more of a lone wolf on the way my process is right now. But I think as far as the brokerage side, I'm still learning a lot. I feel like I've been doing it for about a good year, but there's still aspects that I'm still kind of learning as we go. I need to get a little bit better on the purchase side. And that's one of the struggles that I'm having. But it's not too much different as far as for a purchase and a refinance. It's just the borrower and their mentality and how you actually approach it, really. I mean, the paperwork is essentially the same. So, yeah.
Right. What I've noticed, and it wasn't by design, but over the last 3 years at Xpert, we've had people that have formed, and they're not even teams, they're individuals, but they're like, hey, you know what? They meet out at UWM or something. They're like, oh, really? Where are you at? Oh, I'm in Colorado. Cool. I'm in Kansas. Cool. I'm in California. Well, what's your special? I'm Jumbos. Oh, I'm VA. Oh, I'm DSCR. Why don't we meet once a week? And if I come across those, because I don't know those well, I can bounce them off you guys. You bounce them off me, but they're our own loans. And then I've had them take it to a new step where they said, this has worked pretty good, because it's like we have a team within a team, but yet we're individual. But hey, I want to get a top processor that only touches my stuff, but I can't afford it by myself. And then the 3 or 4 or 5 of them are now sharing 1/3 to 1/5 of the cost of that processor that only touches their files, trained by them. And I've seen these guys do that. And I'm like, wow, I never looked at that, because I have a lot of people that get to the point and say, hey, Rich, I hate being by myself. I'm like, cool. Let's see if there's anybody else that hates it and see what their specialty is. And you guys meet once a week, just once. And it gives you somebody to talk to. You can always meet more than that. Hell, you guys can go out to UWM for free anytime you want. Take a class, because at the level that we're at, you can go out there every single month for free. They'll fly you out and put you up in the hotel and feed you. You just got to get your own ride from the airport to and from. But we got people. Jamie Newman was out there like 12 times last year. I'm like, damn, Jamie, what are you living out there or what? But she just kept immersing herself, and now she's got a team. But I love you guys that you find these things that I never thought of when I imagined Xpert Home Lending, to be honest with you.
I to be honest with you, I love going out to Detroit for UWM. I really enjoy it, just because I am such a lone wolf, just because I came from a consumer direct background, initially starting with Loan Depot. It's never a bad thing to be able to bounce ideas off of another loan officer, just because you have a scenario, I have a technique. It can twist into the same thing depending upon how you do it. So it's great because you can go out there and really kind of delve in, learn into the other states too. There's resources that they can kind of provide to you too. So I definitely love it. Right now, I think on the broker side, I've just become accustomed to doing it on the lone wolf type of way, but I definitely love going out to UWM. I think it's a great program that they have. I really do. And I think that's why they're selling so well.
No, and there's been times when I do it myself. There's times when especially purchases, I'm not good at letting go, because I know I'm going to get all the calls. Refinances are a little easier because it's just me and the borrower, and we chose the title/escrow company that we know. And so, it's more of a team effort, and it's just me dealing with them. But with Xpert, being in multiple states now, that's changed for me, because talking to somebody at 6 o'clock California time means 9 o'clock Georgia time. And so I now have teams that are specific in the United States to say, hey, I'm going to connect you with Brittany. Brittany's actually in California. She's on your time. Brittany, just take it and pass those on. Arizona, we looked at it. We just did our finals. And so, you got California, you got Washington, you got Texas, Arizona, Colorado. Those 5 states have absolutely dominated the total of the 44 states. A lot of people have moved there and or have a need. I'm amazed at the drop off after that as far as the loans per state. And I think Nevada's growing because a lot of people are moving around, but just crazy. All right, so this is what I did. The whole goal behind this is I want people to know who Adrian is. I want them to know that you're real. I want them to find, a lot of people think everything's got to be perfect. And it's like, no. We need to, when people say, oh, I got this guy Adrian contact me all the time with Xpert Home Lending, they go and say, oh, well, here's a video right here. Oh my gosh, I didn't know those were his hobbies. I didn't know those things about it, because everybody goes into sales mode all the time. We don't meet with people hardly anymore. I mean, it used to be that people would come into the office and then, that was like a form of a commitment. Then I'm like, hell, I'll drive out to your house because then I can go further in California to get more deals. I'll come out on Sunday. I'll go out there. Oh my God, my wife hated me for doing that. I remember trying to talk to her, hey, I'll buy you dinner if you'll drive out to San Francisco with me on a Friday night. We're going to meet this guy. But you make it easier and easier. Now we just give them a link and they do it electronically. We don't even meet our people anymore. And with the 44 states, you no longer have a limitation. So if someone says, oh my gosh, Adrian, thank you for doing that great job. My sister lives in Ohio. And you're like, I got her too. Oh, my other brother is going to live in Texas. I got him too. And that was the design of Xpert, to be able to say, no matter where your business leads you, if they like Adrian, then they can get to Adrian. And so I'm glad you're giving us a chance. Nifty's a great company, so is Loan Depot. But right now, we get Adrian. So that's good on the Xpert side, and I appreciate you giving us a chance. Number one, getting to know you a little bit. I appreciate you taking your time. I know you got a lot going on, but you jumped out there, and I wanted to make sure that we got this video for you. We'll make it look good. We're going to get it in front of people. We're going to make sure you have the links and make sure people know who you are, whether they're looking to be. We'll talk to you about coming aboard with Xpert, where how our recruiting works, or borrowers who are looking to do refinances, or people pushing you to do a purchase for them. The goal is to get your information out there and show the faces of all these incredible people that call Xpert Home Lending their home right now. So Adrian, I appreciate your time today. I appreciate you just being honest with me, telling me what's going on, because that's what people relate to. Before I let you go, is there any questions you have for me? You could ask me anything under the sun.
Anything.
You can't hurt my feelings, but careful, Claw, answer it honestly. And if you don't, you don't. But I always want to make sure I'm asking all these questions. But sometimes people are like, gosh, I had Rich on the phone. I would have liked to have asked him this question, And I don't know what you know me or don't know me. But some is rumors, some might be true.
That's always the case. No, I don't necessarily. I would say, if anything, what is your favorite sports team and sport? We'll just go that route.
No, I love it. A lot of people don't know I played college baseball. I got drafted by the Seattle Mariners out of college, 25th round of the 1989 amateur draft. Played one. I went from being a starving college player to a starving minor league player. Played one season, and that was it. I couldn't hit with a wood bat. Couldn't make the adjustment, but hey, it was fun trying. And but baseball's always been my sport. I was an outfielder. Loved the cut grass at some of the nicest stadiums. Nowadays I love players. If I had to pick one team only because they're in my backyard, it'd be the Atlanta Braves, because it's like Disneyland on steroids at Truist Park. But outside of that, I am a fan of players, whether it's sports, football, anything. Right now, believe it or not, we just got, I can't remember her first name, but the last name's Griner, and the Atlanta Dream picked her up. And I'm like, that is a huge player for them. They are going to be fun to watch this year. They just needed one player, and that's an impact player. It's like having, Shaq or Kobe or somebody get on your team, and LeBron, hey, you can be controversial all you want, but a girl can play basketball. So I'm excited more about women's basketball right now. A lot of great college players coming out and really picking that sport up. I'm in the SEC country over here. So I got major colleges all around me. I can watch baseball, football within an hour direction. I can get to UGA, is like 35 minutes from my house. Although I'm not a Bulldogs fan, not my fave. I'm more of an Auburn. I'm more of an Alabama. My son is Arkansas because he went to school in Arkansas.
Played against Arkansas.
Yeah, there you go. It's just good sports all around me. Georgia Tech, I'm a Georgia Tech fan. And then what happens? That the quarterback leaves for the portal. I'm like, are you kidding me? We'll see where he ends up.
It's a new world, yeah.
The portal thing's a whole different world. Someone said we can get 5 years and you're not going to count junior college. I'm like, well, hell, maybe I got some eligibility. I might go walk on at a small college, see if they'll let me play, but I'll probably have a heart attack running the first, so can't do that. Yeah. I sure as hell ain't playing football. I ain't going to let no one hit me at this day and age.
Yeah, but I can't even play still. It'd be crazy. Yeah, some of these rules now are just insane. It's the Wild Wild West, and I hope that they get a handle on it. But I think they just allowed a lot of junior college players 4 years now, even after you play 2 years in junior college, which is crazy.
Yes, I saw that.
So yeah, there's a lot of players getting 8, 9 years, which is outrageous. Yeah, it's confusing, but I think they'll get a handle on it. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. But yeah, it's
If
different.
not, we're going to have kids turning 18 coming out of high school early against, I mean, it used to be BYU. If they went on their mission trip, you could run
Right.
against a 25, 26-year-old. Now it's like you're going to have a 30-year-old grown man football. Now, football's the one, because
It
I
is.
would not want to get hit by some of these people after they've been in the NFL for a few. I mean, they
Yeah.
start stacking on the muscles. I mean, even more than after college. And hitting somebody coming out of high school, good Lord, I wouldn't want that train wreck. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's a different type of feel. I played against BYU and in Utah, and they go on those Mormon trips, and you can tell because I played defensive end, and so you could tell the strength difference from a grown man to just a regular 21, 22-year-old, and you really knew it once you hit somebody. So it's a huge difference. That's why football you have to take the years to get your body right because you'll get trampled, your body will get destroyed before you even develop, which is natural. But yeah, it's different. Football is fun, no question.
Do you remember, I think his last name was Clowney?
Yeah, Jadavian.
Yeah. I watched him out of high school, and he was just throwing people aside.
He was.
You know, he was so tall and so big at the high school level. Then he goes on to college, he was doing the same thing. And I mean, it took the NFL to finally bring matchups, and he still was fast. But I was like, you see these phenoms, you know, everybody wants to be a phenom, but there's a few that you're like, wow, how did he get so big so fast, just throwing people aside? It's a different day and age, but you know, watching these guys that can perform right out of high school in any sport. You know what? You got 1 year in college, you can go NBA basketball. I don't know why they ever made that rule, but they get 1 year for them and pay them. Now I guess they get paid more at the college level.
Yeah,
But just crazy. I can talk about this stuff all day. I
Yeah,
enjoy
me too.
sport. I love
Me
sports.
too.
I love being outside,
Too.
and I love a nice cold beer and some
Too.
nachos.
Yeah.
And watching a good game. I just want to watch a good game. I'm not a big pitching fan. I like hitting. I go to Atlanta Falcons games.
Oh, nice.
The California teams will come in. We can watch some good football.
Yeah. It's any game for me is good. Even baseball.
any
I was initially, when I was younger, I liked baseball to play it, but it was never enough people to get a full game in. So it was always
takes
the
quite a
issue
few.
that, and it's hard to round up everybody, get everybody in line and play every single, position. But I always enjoyed playing it, and I always enjoyed sitting back and watching it. Not on
I
TV,
agree.
but at the game. More so for me. So it was always one of those things where if I got to the stadium, it was cool. But even basketball, I love going there just for the excitement, just for the crowd itself. And out here in Arizona, we got all four. Well, we did
You
have all
got all
sports.
going on out there.
Yeah, before the hockey team decided to leave. But that's a whole other issue with Arizona besides the point. But yeah, it's there's a lot that I really enjoy about sports. That's why spring training is beautiful out here. It's probably the best time of the year in Arizona in spring training.
I'm amazed how I was out there one time playing this tournament with I used to take high school kids out there, and we took a credit card where the infield meets the grass, and it was almost even with that credit card as far as thickness with the drop off. There was no lip, for a ground ball going to the outfield. And I thought, oh my Lord, man, these guys got it made. We had 3 inches of grass at the end of ours, and if you played back, you're probably going to get a ball pop up. But, and that was years ago. It's probably even better now. Adrian, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate you taking the time for people to get to know you. I appreciate you giving Xpert a chance, because you're new to it. I got people who've been here since day one. But, it's always been about whatever is best for you and yours. If Xpert falls in line, hey, that's what I'm after. Some of my best friends don't even work here. They've gone on to do different things. It's whatever's best for people. So I'm always thankful whether I get 1 day or I get 3 years, 10 years with people that they even pass through this platform. God's been good. I get amazed at how many people we have. And it takes these kind of things for me to have some time just to get to meet and talk to people. But I'm excited to get out there and meet you guys in person. The next 2 years is going to be awesome for me to really work on some events that I've been trying to put together with speakers and people that truly know how to generate business for you guys. And so I'm excited to bring those things to you to make it worth your time and effort for coming this way. I want to make sure I match that effort. So I just want to say thank you.
No problem. I appreciate you guys. I could tell just in the interview process, you guys do it the right way. Just the way you handle things, the way you guys cultivate the relationship, just everything to a T. That's why I chose you guys over a few different choices, but I just knew it was the right fit for me, especially at this time. So no, I appreciate you guys as well.
All right. I'm going to let it out. I'm going to call us out here the way I always do. Hey, welcome to Mortgage Ballers. I got Adrian Watson on the phone. We're having a good time talking today, but like we always say, goodbye. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Good evening.
All right, Adrian. Take care, buddy.
You too.